Hello and welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. Bit of a bumper crop to get through today, so let's jump straight into it. So the first thing is I managed to get out the videos and the blog posts for the final two parts of the Building Declarative Agents with API plugins for Microsoft Copilot. This is now a 5-part series and it's done. The videos are up, the blog posts are up. There isn't yet a landing page to kind of go through it all and just sort of give you one sort of playlist to go through, but that's going to be coming over the next couple of days. But the videos are all there. They've all got the same cover, so they're hopefully easy to find, and they are all in a YouTube playlist as well. This one, part 4, is the actual build, so kind of going through, sharing my screen in Visual Studio Code, going through the exact process. And then the last one, part 5, is really just kind of like a collection of just kind of mopping up stuff all the way through that I found that I thought was useful and interesting. Just things that I've picked out, going through some tips and tricks, some gotchas, and, just things to be aware of. So maybe that is a good one to, I don't want you to fall into the same traps that I fell into, basically. So if I can avoid you doing that, that's great. If I can give you some tips, that's good as well. So that's what that part 5 is all about. If you don't want to watch the videos, that's fine. There's a blog post as well. Same information is in the blog post. In fact, a lot of the screenshots are taken from the video just because it's easier to do that. So you can kind of look at those, and if you think like you like the look of them, maybe go back and watch the video. Okay, so that's that. Part 4 and 5 are done. Also out this week, I blogged that the Microsoft Teams developer portal has a new bit in it, which is a package editor, which is kind of like a file manager for your manifest files, which sounds a little odd. Let me just get the screenshot. Here it is. So in the, this is dark mode, but in the dev portal, when you're looking at a particular app, there's now this app package editor, which looks like, oh no, a bad image that isn't rendering. Okay, I need to fix that. That's weird, isn't it? But it just looks like a file manager. Imagine a file manager, and you'd have your manifest file and your two logo images. Why? Well, this is because by putting that in allows you to add the extra things in that you need, for instance, for a declarative agent, like the instructions file, and potentially other files in the future. And as I say in the blog post towards the end, I think this is an indication that the Teams developer portal specifically, but generally the Teams developer platform is expanding its wings again to cover more and to cover the Microsoft 365, including all of these Copilot apps and things like that. So I'm not sure it's going to be called the Teams developer portal for very much longer, but we'll see. But yeah, I think that's what we're seeing there, is that expanding out of that kind of capability to cover more things and not just your sort of standard Microsoft Teams apps. Because actually you need something, even if you're doing like meeting custom scenes and stuff like that, you need to be able to kind of upload different files. So having an app package editor in the mix there is quite a good idea. Just saves you having to do it manually with kind of zipping and unzipping files. So that's nice. All right, other news that you might have missed this week. There is a new public preview of the SharePoint Framework version 1.21 or 1.21. And there's some interesting new things in here. So first of all, before we go through these, actually, I just want to say it's really good that the SharePoint Framework continues to iterate. It's always good to see. It's good to have a reminder that not everything is Copilot. And Copilot is super important, don't get me wrong. And, we know all the big announcements coming out around Copilot, and they get trailed a lot. I think it's good to see that underneath all of that, other work is carrying on and continues to carry on. And the SharePoint Framework is one of those really that I think is really important because they've been doing this for a long time, and I think it's good. It sort of shows innovation as well. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And so yes, there's some interesting new features in here. Most of these I don't know a ton about because I'm not a SharePoint developer. So custom flexible layout configuration options. Okay, I'm sure that means something to you if you're a SharePoint developer. You might probably want to dig into this. This I thought was really interesting though, a configurable option. So users will be able to choose their own cards from the Viva Connections dashboard. That sounds useful and interesting to Microsoft 365 developers generally, because it kind of changes that surface and means that users have more control, and therefore you might consider different, like creating different cards and things like that. So there's a whole video, or part of the video, because it was on the weekly Power Platform call. So you can go check that out if that sounds interesting. And then, like these blog posts normally do, it finishes with some good information about, what it is, first of all, but also, how you install it and how you get going with it. So if you're completely new to the SharePoint framework, go check it out, because it is a nice way to get into doing SharePoint development. They've taken away a lot of the hard stuff and given you lots of good scaffolding. And there's lots of different ways to do things. So read through that, because they've made a lot of the hard things easy. So like SSO sign on and hosting and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely worth checking that one out. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is a slightly psychedelic blog post from Microsoft Work Labs around, well, it's titled Agents of Change, which sounds very Marvel. But it's all about driving ROI with Copilot by using agents. Now, I think what they're trying to do here is highlight how using agents and Copilot together can drive ROI and be good. And basically what it is a set of examples and case studies. So, they've got 31 use cases across 7 industries and 11 countries. You can go down the full list, or you can filter it. This is a really good resource if you are looking for examples. For 2 reasons, first of all, actually. Firstly, if you just want to understand what people are doing around Copilot, maybe you're a little bit skeptical, or you want to just kind of understand the hype a little bit more. And so like you kind of want to see what is everyone else doing. But also maybe if you need to justify investment in Copilot, and so you're looking for some business cases in your vertical to justify the spend, this might be useful here as well. So not all of these are all about agents all the time, I don't think. I kind of looked through some of these, and some of these are just we use Copilot and things helped, but some legitimately are agent use. I'm going to really struggle to find one now. I think this was an interesting one from Pets at Home in the UK. They built a custom agent in Copilot Studio around doing fraud detection. So it automates some of the things that they have to do to identify potentially fraudulent activities. So that sounds like a really good use of agents in Copilot. So, and they've got a good quote there around, identifying fraud 10 times faster, can process 20 times more cases a day. All sounds very good. So there's lots of little things like that. So these little case studies. So this is definitely worth a look through, I think, if only for ideas as much as anything else. But there's some big names in here. Some big names across the US, the UK, and through Europe as well. So you're bound to find something in here, hopefully. Go check that out, because it's a good resource, and it's one to kind of bookmark as well for when someone says, have you got any good news stories about, Copilot being used in this vertical or that vertical or anything like that, or justify, why should we be spending this money on Copilot? Well, our competitors over here are doing this. So yeah, for all those reasons, I think it's a good thing. All right. It's shaping up to be a busy week, I think. We've got Build kind of on the horizon. We've got Enterprise Connect coming up next week, I think. And then there's MVP Summit as well in a couple of weeks' time, which I'll be going to. So I should probably do a weekly update from there, which will be good. Other than that, whatever it is you're doing this week, have a really good week. And I will speak to you. Hopefully you'll see some more output from those Building Declarative Agent stuff in the week. But just, if you've been following all the videos, you've seen it all already. You've got the early access. Anyway, whatever it is you're doing this week, have a great one. And I will speak to you again next time.